So, hello everyone, and welcome back to another video. This is going to be a short one, and I'm hoping that my microphone actually works this time. I'm using slobs. Um, and I'm sorry about the quality. I'm recording this at night. My lights, they don't pick up as good as I thought they would, or as well as I thought they would. I need to get a better camera. Um, Today I'm going to talk about paranormal activity. Okay. Now, listen. I've seen all the movies so far up up to this point. Um and here's here's how I feel about um the paranormal activity movies as a whole. But before I get to that, the reason why I'm talking about this is because if you don't know, there is a new paranormal activity movie coming out called Paranormal Activity Next of Kin. Now, I saw the teaser just like everybody else did. First of all, only about 20 people have commented on the tweet. So, yeah. And it's not really it's not really that well received. They did what I thought they were going to do, and I don't like that. Because modern horror is not that scary at all. Now I know this is kind of new territory for me because normally I don't talk about like I don't talk about uh reboots, right? Or no, I talk about reboots, but I don't talk about movies. I when I do a why I think video, um, I normally talk about TV shows or reboots and revivals, and this kind of doesn't fall within that, and I understand that, but it is something to be acknowledged. Um, and let me just tell you something. I honestly have to say that what I saw in that teaser, that very little teaser that we got, um, was not interesting. I'm sorry, I'm not interested in whatever I saw because I looked at that and I thought, and I was waiting for this. This is one of the things where it's like, yeah, I'm a Catholic, but I do like my horror things. I like Catholics can like scary movies, all right? Like, that's not a bad thing. Um, but it's like for me personally, I was waiting for this, uh, for just any information at all for this movie, and there was like nothing. Still to this day, we don't know the plot of this movie, and I'm like, okay, whatever, seriously, like they are bringing it back on Paramount Plus, which is a good idea. But nobody really asked for this. I have seen the older movies, and I have to say, while those movies aren't that great, the first one is definitely the better one. Out of all of them, the first one is still pretty great till this day. I don't think it's as great as people think it is, but it is still pretty great. The fact that they had little technology, well, like, think about the technology that we have today, and then think about the technology that we had when the first movie came out. That technology was not advanced, and they kind of had to work with what they had. I mean, there was some things that were kind of advanced around that time, but not as advanced as it is today, which makes me think that this is weird, um that now we're getting a new Paranormal Activity movie after they essentially ended the series. Which, if I'm being honest with you, if you were to ask me, based off of this teaser, which yes, it is a teaser, it's not a full trailer yet, so who knows? If you were to ask me how I felt about this teaser, and if I felt like this was something that was necessary to bring back, I would say absolutely 100% no. I'm going to tell you why. Because this Paranormal Activity movie is a complete reboot. It's not connected to the original films. And I don't think that they're going to connect it at all to the original films, which is okay. Um, but since it follows such a new path, a completely different path, I feel like it would be better to just have it be its own thing and maybe to make sequels of that movie and just keep it away from Paranormal Activity because you're like people coming into this movie who aren't really aware of the details about it are gonna come into are they're gonna come into this movie thinking, oh, well, this is a movie that's connected to the other films, which basically, like, I'm okay with them not connecting it. I'm really I'm really okay with it, um, because it's been so long and the actors have all grown, that I just don't think that you could use the same people, for a continuation. And I mean, I'm going to be harsh here and say that pretty much a good majority of these films you could take out and you would still have the story. What little story there is. If you don't know how a paranormal activity movie is, or the formula is that, okay, we get our main characters, they move in, maybe they move into a home that's been haunted before and they don't know about it just yet. Or maybe they've been living there and they've been experiencing things for a couple of months. I don't know. But something happens, right? So they let's just say that they move into a new building, right? And they don't know the history of it. They don't know anything. Um, Basically, from that perspective, you get to see these people in their daily lives. You get to kind of get to know them a little bit. And there's a bunch of found footage happening, and then you get to the point where they start having hauntings happen. So they set up a bunch of cameras. In the first film, this is a fun fact. In the first film, there was only two cameras. One of them was the actual found footage one that like you would see moving throughout the house, like the one that they take with them to shoot the house. The other one was the one that was at their bedroom. They didn't have any other cameras, which made it even more scarier because it's like we're locked into a bedroom, right? Into a bedroom that like we're not going anywhere beyond that point. Well, I mean, of course you do go beyond that point, but we're not seeing anything as this is occurring besides the stuff that happens in the bedroom. So we're hearing all the noises, but we're not seeing it. Like we're hearing the big pound on the wall that goes, ah, we're hearing that, but we're not seeing it, right? And and then after the first film, they started using surveillance cameras, which I think kind of took the effect of the original. And I mean, it worked for the second film. It did, but after that, it just felt like it was a staple. And so technically you could say, well, it's not completely found footage, but for the most part it is. And this is a good majority of why I have a problem with this teaser, because it was a good tease, honestly. Um, now that I think about it, it didn't draw me in, though. Most teasers are supposed to draw somebody in to what they're about to watch, right? And I'm expecting that we're going to get a full trailer within the next week or so. But for me, the big problem with this teaser was that a lot happened, but also nothing happened as well. And they're starting to use real life monsters, I guess, now. And this is another problem with modern day horror, which I actually talked about on my podcast, aka the Blue Moon Podcast. I talked about why modern horror is so bad. And it really, I think the biggest thing was The Haunting of Hill House. It was on Netflix. The reason why I had the big problem with that was because the ghosts weren't really that impressive. It was more of a family drama. And I mean, there were some good scares, but for the most part, I was left bored with it. And I've never made a video on this because it was just boring to watch. Like, if I was to make a video on it, I would say, well, half the time is them fighting. Like, the main characters are just fighting half the time. So it's just, that's kind of all it is, right? It's just them fighting. And I'm like, okay. Like I don't like that. I don't like when they spend half of the like literally a good portion of it is a family drama. And it's just so stupid because they're not even fighting over like things that are worth fighting over, you know? Like it's just there's conflict for no reason. And conflict just to have conflict, I guess. So, anyways, uh another problem that I had though is that so yeah, so with the Haunting of Hill House, the ghosts were just these monsters. And yeah, I guess okay, fine. You would find that in like a fucking um what were those books called? Goosebumps. You find that in the like in one of those Goosebumps, books. But this is like modern day horror that we're talking about. You're expecting things to be a bit more scarier. Um, so okay, so I'm giving this teaser a lot of hate. Okay, first of all, it doesn't really have a lot of found footage elements. The found footage is kind of like not that great in the teaser. Um, it doesn't show it off the right way. I would have preferred a full trailer because then it's like, okay, fine. What I realized is that a good majority of the time, like hell, even like the Chucky TV show that's coming out soon, which I'm going to be doing a review on, even that had more information coming out at a better pace than this did. Because all we really got was like we got a couple of things here and there. And yeah, sure, for the Chucky TV show, we did get that as well. But we've gotten a lot of information recently. And way before, like months before it has released, it's releasing in October. So is this new Paranormal Activity movie. You would think that with this new movie, that they would have like by now, like this is September 17th, and they're releasing it next month, October 29th. You'd think by now they've had ever since the beginning of this year to release information about it, and even before then, I think, well, if I'm not mistaken, they had even before then to announce this and to get the plot out, but there's still no plot. There's still no full trailer, and there's some shitty teaser, some shitty title, and some shitty story that which I don't know what story we're picking up here. Listen, I gotta see it for the full effect. I get it. I don't know if I'll actually make a video on this after it releases. We'll have to see. I was really hoping that this would be worth getting Paramount Plus for again, because I now have money. So I was really hoping. But it's really not that interesting, and I'd rather prefer that I see more of it. I'll wait until I see the trailer. Um, but it feels like this just doesn't scare me like it's supposed to. You know, like the goal is to scare the audience, and you don't even do that with it. Like, I mean, even with the teaser, you're supposed to scare them. Like that's the goal. It's like, ooh, lure them in. Like I got more scared with the Chucky TV show promo, which I didn't even get scared of really, with that trailer than I did with this teaser, right? And the fucking teasers for Child's Play, like for the TV show, is so much better. They are so much better, honestly. And also, I got to give props to the Chucky TV series for going back to the old style of making these trailers with the voiceover. Honest to God, a really nice touch for a popular classic. It just makes it feel like it's in a different era, and it but yet it still feels very fresh and very new and very different. And I'm honestly thinking that that's going to be a really great way to have a Chucky TV show. Um, but and then we go back to Paranormal Activity. It's like, why are they waiting to release like important plot details? Why? Why are they waiting till the last second to release this? They should have released information about it in June when well, I think it was either June or July. They made or no, maybe it was later than that actually. They made the announcement that it was done and that it was all finished. They could have given the announcement of the plot there as well, and they didn't. They didn't give an announcement of a plot, which I'm like, okay, that's really weird. You're not playing by the books. Either this show must be really bad or it must be really good. Sorry, I said show. I meant to say movie. Either this movie is really bad and they're trying to hide it, or it's really good and they're trying to hide it. I don't know. Um, will it be worth the wait? I don't know. Because and if I was to make a full review on it, that would be a part of my review would be talking about why, like, okay, first of all, we haven't heard shit about this up until the last minute details, right? It's like they completely forgot about it and they just didn't want to give you any information. Was it worth it? Well, I don't know. If it was worth it, then yeah, I'll probably talk about it. But I don't think I will talk about it though, because I mean, even this video is, out of my territory on YouTube. Um, but it is something that I've been wanting to talk about for a while now. Now, one more thing that I want to mention before I leave this video. Um, One of the things that I have a big problem with older horror, I'm not sure if the newer horror um, fixates on this or fixes this rather, um, is the fact that, okay, for Paranormal Activity, the goal was for Toby the demon to get into a human body, right? But then what? Then what? I mean, I've seen all the movies, right? I saw the Ghost Dimension a couple months ago. What what's the goal after I just don't see where they could have gone with that. I have no clue. I mean, maybe this movie might be good because the marked ones, I didn't like it at first, but then now that I look back at it, it wasn't bad, and it did get you into a smaller group. A lot of the houses that these people have on these movies is that they have like these gigantic homes, right? Plenty of space for the demon to move around in and do all the demon work. Um, but I don't know. It's just it's really weird. I really don't like this at all. Um so yeah, but then also like with that was also the goal for Chucky originally was that he had to get into a human body. And then what at least then we knew what Chucky's motives were, right? We knew it. Um so it was like better, a lot better. I don't know. I just feel like the I hope this does well. I hope it does as well as it did with the marked ones because the marked ones it was pretty scary. It got us in a smaller home. It felt more realistic. It wasn't perfect, but it did kind of fix things with the show, not show, with the movies. Um, and then the Ghost Dimension wasn't bad either. I mean, honestly, that it wasn't the best. I'll give you that. It wasn't the best. Um, I think the Ghost Dimension was one of the not so great ones because it just kind of it it speed ran through all of the beats of the story. It didn't really, for me, I feel like there was a lot of scenes that lasted for way too long, and then there was a lot of scenes that just didn't last enough, like long enough. So I don't know. Um, but let me know what your guys' thoughts are in the description box. Are you excited? Sorry, not in the description box, but in the comment section. Are you excited for the new movie, or are you more excited for the Child's Play TV show, which is going to be called Chucky? Let me know. Honestly, again, it's a disappointment. It really is. But don't let my opinion um tamper with your beliefs, okay? Please don't. These are my opinions, and I probably should have said that at the very beginning of the video. I'm gonna start saying that for my Why I Think videos, because I don't want you guys to think that just because I hate it, that you guys should hate it. Go and see it. Go see, like check it out. Okay, check it out. I'll leave the link down in the description box. Hopefully, by the time this video releases, we'll get a full trailer and we'll be able to understand what's going on. And if that's the case, I might make a video on it. So who knows? But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, thank you, and I will see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.